waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. Waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Please punch that like button on your way in the building. Let your friends and family members know about the channel. Salute to everybody tuned in tonight. I know this is a late night banger. We're going to do all we can to make sure we have a really good stream tonight. We got to talk about this Miami Dolphins Tyreek Hill problem. To extend or ignore, that is the topic of conversation. Tonight we're going to break that down. I'm going to give you all the options for the Miami Dolphins, what's going on, why this is an issue or why it's not an issue at all. And then I'm going to drop the link and have a brief open panel tonight. We're not going to be any more than 1 hour tonight. Got some stuff I want to take care of, so we're going to make sure we put a time on it. All right. Shout out to Curtis Williams. Shout out to the members of the channel, World Police. Shout out to the mod squad as well. California in the house, Morales family. That's what's up. Andres Negron in the house. That's what's up, man. I'm glad y'all rocking with us tonight. Q, I see you, homie. Glad you're here with us tonight as well. All right. Omnaron in the building. Listen, Adam in the house. Love you, brother. Love you. I'm gonna call you this week too, so we can have a conversation. Some stuff we got to get done. Zach Turk, man, salute to you. Ian, I see you in here, Ian. Enrique Benitez, what's up, man? Let me see here. Punch that like button, ladies and gentlemen. All right, before we get started, real quick, Let me see. I think we need to add a few mods. I want to add about 5 mods real quick. Anybody who been rocking with us for quite some time, go ahead and let me know in the chat. See if we can add a few more mods to the channel. See if we can add about 5 more. You see, almost football season. You ain't never lied, Steve. We gonna add that mod, Steve. We already know what time it is. Add moderator. Let's see here. Got you. Lewis too lit in the house. That's what's up, man. Let's see. And if I don't get you, it's just I'm in a first come, first serve basis right now. Elias, that's what's up. Now remember, unfortunately, whenever we get mods that truly thankful, ain't even a question. The crazy thing is when we get mods that get out of control and do things that ain't cool. King Cat in the building. That's all. That's an automatic mod. Automatic mod. Oh man. Yeah, King Cat, man. Richie been trying to expose your boy lately, man. With my Jets takes. TD fraud talk. I am ready for my apology for you being wrong about the salary cap being affected by the recent ruling. I'm not sure what you're talking about. If it's not, send me some information, bro. I'm always humbled to be educated about any and everything. Send me information that shows me how it's not going to be impacted so I can not walk around in my ignorance. I love education. So if I'm spreading misinformation, just send it to me. Email, DM me, Twitter or Instagram, and then I'll read the article or whatever it is that shows that it doesn't. And then I'll come on and say, I appreciate whoever sent it and update them. It's that simple. So and then I can give you a public apology if that's what you want. It's all good, man. It doesn't, I don't lose anything by apologizing for being wrong. I gain by making sure that I'm on the right side of being competent and not ignorant. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get started, y'all. One more. We're gonna add Mac. We're gonna add Mac, and then we're good for the night. If I missed you, it's just because I didn't see it. I think it's a good time when like it's late at night and a lot of people are watching. Those people who come in, yeah, they rock with us quite a bit. We got over, man, it's crazy. We got a lot of Twitter people that's been watching the channel lately. I've been really opening up the streams to Twitter lately. The reality is when the regular season starts, I may not be on Twitter like that. Okay. Everything is going to be YouTube centric when the regular season starts, except, certain streams I'll do everybody, but YouTube is where I primarily do all my streams. I like to take them serious. I give you my real thoughts and opinions on what I think. And if you're watching on YouTube, you're getting those real thoughts and opinions. But when I'm on Twitter by myself, just Twitter posting stuff, sometimes I'm just having fun trolling, doing stuff like that. Yo, TD, how your day, man? I'm good, Tyler, man. Everything going great, bro. Taking care of these kids, getting them ready for school early. I like to do things a month or two in advance, so getting school stuff ready for all the babies. Well, they ain't a lot of them ain't babies no more, but all the kids. It's that simple. But let's dive in. Lewis Too Lit just hit your boy up with a super chat. Salute to you, Lewis. Lewis said, oh, I'm on the wrong platform. Here it is. Lewis said, I hope you know Tua is TD fraud talk. Hey man, I don't know if it is, man. He need to go ahead and accept the $45 million deal and stop playing. Go ahead and take the contract so we can move forward. Tua. Come on, bro. But I will say this. Thank you to everybody who's been donating to the channel recently. If you want to donate to the channel, I much prefer you donate to the training camp fund. And like I always tell y'all, I got 6 kids. God has blessed me to do this and make it lucrative now with different sponsors and things like that. Those sponsors usually kick in the regular season. So every training camp I usually come out of my pocket. But the last 2 years, y'all have helped me out with training camp. So y'all always sending donations. I'm just saying, if you do want to send a donation, Send it via Cash App, $ TD Fans Talk. It'll go a longer way. Cash App is like a 3% thing. So you send $1, I get 97 cents of it. YouTube, if you send $1, I get 60 cents of it. So that's just smarter in general. But before we dive into the deep context of the conversation, I want to give a shout out to Sabrina Collier and Zach Turk. Thank y'all for also contributing to the training camp fund recently. And listen, I see the comments that it's not much. This is for your trip. Trust me when I tell you, this is plenty. Thank you so much. And they know who I'm talking to. The person that said it's not much, but thank you. It's for your trip. It's plenty. Thank you. Sincerely, thank you. Trust me, it's plenty enough. Okay. Love you for that. Thank you for showing love. Taking your hard-earned money, dedicating it to what I'm doing over here. You don't have to do that, but you did. So thank you. Specifically to that person. They know who I'm talking to that wrote that message. And everybody who contributes in whatever way you do, even hitting the like button. So to the people hit me up in the comment section too. Why are you asking people for money for training camp? Why don't you have your sponsors do it? Like I said, my sponsors kick in when the regular season typically starts. And also, I'm not asking anybody for anything. I'm letting people know if they are going to donate and if they are going to give out of the kindness of their heart, like they always do, like Lewis Too Lit just did, then just send it in the Cash App so your money can go a longer way. Just FYI, okay? That's the one thing that I haven't done on this channel in 6 years is actually ask for money. I just tell people if you are going to do that out of the kindness of your heart, this is the better way to do it. For those people who've been hitting me up complaining or writing messages saying, why are you asking for money? That's not what's happening. Okay. And typically people that always got something to say anyway. But let's dive in. Miami Dolphins have a Tyreek Hill problem. Nobody's really talking about it, but this problem is bigger than people think. What I mean by that is, first of all, I know today there was this notion that's been out here on social media, and I want to tell y'all now it's a complete lie. It is a complete lie. This notion that Tyreek Hill says that he's not focused on the money right now. He's focused on a Super Bowl. He would rather bring a Super Bowl first and then worry about the money. It is a complete lie. They took something Tyreek said and made their own insinuation as if that's what he meant. Complete lie. Everybody and their mama know Tyreek won every penny he owed to him. He actually came out and made an analogy about being like a UPS driver or something, Uber driver or something like that. He said, I got 100 routes, and there's people out here with 60 routes making more money than me. I'm a delivery driver, and I got 100 routes I got to go on, and there's people out here that only got 60 routes making more money than me. That got to change. So Tyreek did not say he's not worried about the money right now. He's just worried about a Super Bowl, and then he'll worry about it later. That is not the case. What's going on in Tyreek Hill's situation right now, Tyreek and his agent has already let Chris Greer know where they stand, that his client needs more money and he needs it now. He needs it preferably before the season starts. And if not, within the first half of the season, some type of extension needs to be done. Why? Because he has no more real guaranteed money after this season. Now, Tyreek is slated to be a $31 million cap hit this year. Next year, he's slated to be just under $35 million cap hit. Then he balloons up to a 56 or something like that $1 million cap hit in 2027. In 2026, excuse me. Now, they are never going to let Tyreek Hill see a 2026 number of $56 million, okay? But they obviously are going to have him on a $31 million cap hit this year. And next year, the decision has to be made. Do they want to carry a $34 million cap hit? But this is why a lot of people are now advocating to go ahead and extend Tyreek Hill, because a Tyreek Hill extension right now will put a whole bunch of fake money on the back end and lower the cap hit this year and next year and potentially the year after that. That's why people feel like the Miami Dolphins should go ahead and get an extension done now. But no one truly knows what that's going to look like in terms of what kind of deal is Tyreek looking for. I've been on record assuming, not factual nor accurate because we don't know, but I've been assuming that Tyreek is willing to continue to take an annual of $30 million a year as long as a lot more is guaranteed. That was just my assumption. But right now, the reality is when I'm hearing some of the things he's saying in the media as of lately and how he's comparing his peers and how he's excited about the new market, I think he wants every penny that he's due, especially with his personal life and everything, how things are working out. I'm sure he wants every bit of money he can possibly have. And honestly, that would put Tyreek Hill probably at an AAV of about $36 million per year on a 3 to 4 year extension potentially. We could get breaking news at any moment that the Miami Dolphins have restructured Tyreek Hill's contract, a restructured extension to where they knock off all the 3 years he has left on the deal right now and just give him a fresh new 5-year deal worth about $175 million, which is 35 a year. So $180 million, which is 36 a year, a 5-year, $186 million deal, right? 85, no, 75, 80, yeah. 5-year, $180 million deal. And they guarantee what? $100 million? He ain't gonna see the other 80, but they might guarantee 180 million. I mean 100 million. Which basically he'd be guaranteed to be on the roster for another 3 years. The problem with a deal like that is that they're going to take low cap hits early. So even after 3 years, see, they might only be through about 45 million through 3 years based off of the way, because they'll probably have like a $12 million cap hit in year one, like a 26 in year two, and then a 35 in year three. Maybe, and that'll get them up to 70, but then they got about 30, 40 million left over, which they can continue to contract, but the numbers are too big, so they'll eat dead cap. I'm sure he's looking for a deal like that because he can get it, especially in the open market. But then you also got to pay a quarterback massive money too. 2 players making up about maybe $80 million, $85 million, just 2 players. 2 players taking up what, 30+% of the salary cap? No, let's add 3 players because Tyreek, Tua, and Waddle combined will be taking up about over $100 million, 110. So you got 3 players on your roster that could potentially be eating up 40% of the cap. Massive. That's insane. Now we know the numbers won't work out that way whenever you talk about Tyreek's first year being 12, Waddle's first year being lower, Tua getting a deal his first year being like 15 or 20 something, but it almost assures that 2026, 2027, this team is in nowhere's land. They can't afford to have anything around the main guys. So Chris Greer is honestly scratching his head right now. Like, I can do these deals, but if I give Tua a deal, Tyreek a deal, and I already gave Waddle a deal, we got to figure out something with Holland. The real reality of it all is that this team is not going to be able to maintain a Jalen Ramsey contract, because Jalen Ramsey's getting like $26 million this year or something. We're not going to be able to maintain Bradley Chubb, and he's probably gone anyway. Then are we going to be able to afford Phillips? You can only have but so many big time premier contracts on your roster. Chris Greer's just trying to figure out the puzzle pieces. And here's the reality, everyone. He can do them all. But what a lot of Dolphin fans don't realize is if he was to re-sign all of these guys and give them their money, this roster is going to be shot in 2026. You are literally gridlocking yourself to make a 2024, 2025 run, and then not even possible. The only way that you can keep up with it is by having the perfect drafts every time. And the likelihood of that, I mean, let's just be honest. Banking on that is the worst crapshoot that you could play. But what choice does Chris Greer have? Do you allow Tyreek Hill to play this season and then next year he has no guarantees and he's sitting out waiting and he's handcuffing the team? What are you going to do? Because the reality that we don't like to discuss, but it is true. Oh boy, I expected to have a good stream, and I'm about to say something that's going to upset some people. But if I didn't, I wouldn't be me. Tua's nothing without Tyreek Hill. Well, maybe I shouldn't use the word nothing. Tua ain't popping without Tyreek Hill. Tua ain't good without Tyreek Hill. Tua's average and slightly above average at its best without Tyreek Hill. Someone asked today, are they a package deal? No, but they need to be. They are not a package deal, but they need to be. Thank you, baby. Coffee? Ooh, it's hot. Perfect. Thank you so much. Yes, absolutely. Uh-oh, the coffee done came. The stir machine done came. Y'all know how I get. Y'all know how I get. Especially on the topic we on now. Tua ain't it without Tyreek. And this ain't hating or being mean. It's a fact. We know what he looked like with and without him. And here's the even further statement I'm going to make. I'm starting to feel like if Mike McDaniel had Flores' roster, we wouldn't have made the playoffs in the last 2 years. If Mike McDaniel had Flores' roster, we probably would have won 8 games both years. Maybe 9 last year. Because people forget, we won like 9 and 10 games under Flores. They gotta keep Tyreek Hill in the building. But man, when you got a quarterback who has to have a Tyreek Waddle, Mostert A-Chain to really thrive. Like, the truth of the matter is, I don't think people are even disputing that, but he has to have those guys to thrive. You know what's funny to me? How many people talk about Tyreek's big drops or Waddle's drops on Tua at times? That's the entire NFL. Did y'all see that ranking thing that came out that showed drops in the NFL for quarterbacks? And you know which quarterback had the most drops in the entire NFL? Do you know which quarterback had the most drops in the entire NFL? I want y'all take a guess in the chat. Take a guess in the chat. See if y'all know which quarterback had the most drops in the entire NFL last year. And the answer makes you say it doesn't matter. You can't use it as an excuse. Patrick Mahomes had the most drops in the NFL with receivers dropping the ball in the entire NFL. So nobody wants to hear this argument of, well, Tyreek dropped the ball in some big Stop. You know how many big moments that Patrick Mahomes had, passes dropped and stuff? Because it's not just about the drops that happen to everybody, and they happen at a higher scale for most than Tua. It's always been just simply what you can control. And this is what people ignore all the time, what our quarterback can control. Back on cue here, we have to have Tyreek in the building for Tua. We have to. So with that being said, I can see the Miami Dolphins extending Tyreek, but it's just the big shock that they didn't. They restructured everybody's contract except Tyreek's and decided they wanted to eat a $31 million cap hit this year when they could have only had to eat like $3 or $4 million by restructuring and doing a new deal. But they decided, no, we're going to eat that 31 this year. And that's a sign that they want to go ahead and get off of the deal. But it's not making any sense. Or is it making all the sense in the world? Let's get into it. I got to sit twice on this. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. But things either aren't making any sense or they're making all the sense in the world. And let me explain. The reason why you can feel like it's making no sense is because we know we need an athlete like Tyreek to stay with Tua and Waddle to keep this offense and Tua being the most productive. My bad. Let me get this off the screen. I'm going to get into super chats in just a moment. We know this, okay? But they aren't making all the moves to do it. Waddle was a no-brainer. You had to. Okay? That's a no-brainer. But the Tyreek situation, you got to get a deal done because it makes no sense not to. You're not going to have Tua going through a world of paying him big money and not have a Tyreek Hill and go out there and play in the wide receiver lottery again. You're not going to do that. You're not going to put the Devontae Parkers of the world next to him. You're not going to put the Cedric Wilson Jr.'s of the world next to him. Now, truth be told, the Dolphins 2 years ago were ready to go to war with Cedric Wilson and Waddle. That was the plan until Tyreek Hill became available for trade. And Greer said you can't turn down that type of opportunity. You got to try to go get it done, and he did. But remember, if that wasn't the case and the Chiefs decided they wanted to keep Tyreek, we were prepared to go to war with Waddle and Cedric Wilson. And I'm going to tell you now, Waddle and Cedric Wilson, we would have missed the playoffs both years yet again, in my opinion. Tyreek Hill is the engine that runs this team. this offense at least. Now, that's why it's not making any sense. You got to get this deal done. I know it's going to be expensive. Or maybe it's making all the sense in the world. Maybe, just maybe, Chris Grier is not giving Tua Tagovailoa a fair offer. He is lowballing the heck out of him because in order to keep the entire nucleus and give us flexibility to be able to operate every year and be successful around Tua, it's going to require Tua taking a massive pay cut. And Chris Grier is probably offering him this contract right here is what it's going to take to keep you relevant in the NFL, to keep you looking like you are a competent quarterback. Anything more than this, I don't believe in you because I am going to have to strip certain things around you. Maybe it is making all the sense in the world. Chris Grier is making it known. You want to be a Dolphin long-term in a favorable system that favors you. You're in the best situation in the NFL. There's probably only one or two people that have a similar or better situation. You can't ask for any better. You don't have a market in free agency, by the way, not a great one. And on top of it, by the time you go to some of those other teams, the tax is going to eat you back to this amount anyway. I am offering you a fair amount for you to continue your career long-term in the NFL with the Miami Dolphins. Take this $40 million a year. Take this $40 million a year so I can extend Tyreek and keep him happy, so I can continue to try to build around you. Because if I give you this 50 or 55, if I extend Tyreek, I can't build nothing around y'all. We got the same team that's been losing the last few years, and that's it. And in the future, I got to replace Chubb and hope that I can do better. I got to eventually replace Ramsey in about 2 years, hoping I can do better. I got to replace Armstead. Hopefully Paul is good enough, but we don't know. Austin Jackson, he's still on probation. I only guarantee 1 year of his deal. I ain't got no interior on the O-line. How am I going to afford to be able to address these things if these guys don't get better? I got a rental safety. I got Devon Holland I also got to pay. I got rental linebackers. Half this team are 70% of this team is a rental Tua. 70% of this team at this point in their contract, they're rentals. Poyer a rental. Fuller a rental. My whole linebacking core is a rental. At this point, Teron Armstead is a rental. Austin Jackson's contract say he a rental. The entire interior O-line is a rental. Mostert at this point is a rental. Tyreek at this point is a rental. If you ain't gonna take this 40. The only thing I own on this team is the Devin A. Chain and Jalen Waddle. Everybody else rentals. Chubb is a rental. Phillips is a rental. And I own Paul, but we don't know what he's going to be. And I own Chop Robinson. I own like 5 players on the whole roster. Everybody else is rental. They ain't got no long-term money. People don't look at the team in that aspect. Who do we have locked down long-term right now that's proven? And I'm going to give you a first-round pick and just assume that they're going to be proven, even though we don't. Chop Robinson, Devin A. Chain, Jalen Waddle. Who else on the roster is locked down? Who else is on the roster is locked down more than 2 years, 3 years minimum right now? Is it really 3 players on the whole roster that's locked down for a minimum of 3 years right now? Ramsey ain't locked down more than 3 years. Ramsey got 1.5 to 2 years worth of, lockdown. Durham Smythe ain't long term. Everybody is a rental. Go look at the contracts. Either your guaranteed money run out after this year, or you only got a 1-year deal and you're a free agent next year. I can't even put Jalen Phillips as it because he's up for money. That's a rental situation until I know I could pay him. Holland, he's a rental. This is last year under contract. Until I pay him, we ain't got nobody locked down on this roster but 3 players on the whole roster. That's another thing that nobody talk about. You know how they talk about, sign Tua now so that you can have extra money to build around him. Y'all don't realize in 2026, 2025, I know we'll finagle some things to try to make a way, but in 2026, y'all don't realize. Do you know how many holes Greer got to fill? Even next year. Do you know how many holes he have to fill? And at what point are we looking for long-term replacements? What a lot of people don't recognize is we did all these short-term replacements this year. Guys that ain't going to be on the roster next year. Calais Campbell, Fuller, Poyer. You see all of these, Anthony Brewer, whatever. You see all these players on a 1 year or a 2 year with only 1 year guaranteed. See, the problem we have with giving Tua the big bag is that we have too many people, too many players that have to replace players next year. And most of their contracts are set up where their bigger cap hit is next year. It's going to be interesting. It's not easy to sign Tua on a long-term deal. Another thing that you're hearing out here in the community, and I know Omar Kelly keeps saying this, but I want to educate y'all on something. Omar keep on bringing up Trevor Lawrence or Joe Burrow's deal. Just do what they did, and you'll take a low cap hit early on like they did. They got their contracts after year 3, Omar. It's going to balloon and skyrocket quicker than Burrow and Trevor Lawrence's deal because they're giving Tua's his in the 5th year. The difference between like Trevor and Burrow and those guys, their rookie deal said, okay, you're going into your 4th season and you're only due to make $8 million. Now we get to spread all that out. But Tua's qualifier starts at $24 million because his is on the 5th year. So his bubbles quicker. And what I mean by that is if Tua got the same deal that Trevor got right now in the same offseason, Tua's numbers would be higher throughout the entire contract because he doesn't have that extra 4th year to spread it out in. It's not the same. That's the problem. And here's another thing. What people need to realize. In order for Tua to actually make the money that like Trevor made, his annual would have to actually be higher because he was already on the books to make 24. Trevor is on the books to make like 7 and 25 in the 4th year and the 5th year. So Trevor gets some of his money earlier. It's going to be harder for Miami. So this is a conundrum that Chris Grier is dealing with. Do we extend Tyreek? If I extend Tyreek and give him the big bag, the only reason I would be doing it is because I need him for Tua. But needing him for Tua means that I need to extend Tua because it's a waste if I don't. They don't want to extend Tyreek long term, but they have to for Tua. So they're tied together. But if I do that, it's going to be hell in a basket trying to build a good team around them. This year, we're hoping that we could have better luck with injuries and we could go further. But what if it wasn't injuries? Because injuries wasn't the issue versus the Eagles. Injuries weren't the issue versus the Chiefs in the first game. Injury wasn't the issue versus Buffalo in that first meetup. What if it wasn't injuries? And if it wasn't injuries and the team is what it is, then I just locked in both of these guys just to have mediocre seasons for the next 3 years. Locked in with no financial flexibility to make real changes. And if I cut them early and try to get out of the contract, I'm still handcuffing the team because now I got to replace them. And I can't build a contender like that. What do I do? The reality is Chris Grier is stuck right now with the ultimate decision in which he has to guess, which is the worst decision you could be in as a general manager. But the safest thing to do, and I love that Kobayashi Maru in the chat said this, hold that line. You got to hold the line. Tua, the only way this works, you got to take a deal that you won't be happy with. Otherwise, I'm going to employ you to play on your 5th year, and I will allow you to become a free agent. Matter of fact, I'm not going to allow you to become a free agent the way that you want to. If you suck, I will allow you to become a free agent how you want to in the open market. If you're great next year, I will allow you to become a free agent, but that would be with a what is it called? Transition tender, a tag, to where you get to test the open market. Whatever deal you can find out there, we have an opportunity to either match it or we can allow you to go and get 2 first-round picks as a result of it. It's that simple. If you ball out this year, which would be betting on yourself, because this transition tag, just in case nobody offers you the money that you want, you're only going to cost $35 million next year. The transition tag is only, if I'm not mistaken, it's like $35 million. The franchise tag is in the 40s. The transition tag is like 35. Dolphins have to pay 10% more than the offer of other teams. So be it. So be it. Or maybe we just go get our 2 first-round picks. And now in 2025, next year's draft, we got 2 firsts. And in 2026, we got 2 firsts. 4 first-round picks in the next 2 years. Let me tell you the tricky thing. The beautiful part about that. Say Tua doesn't play well. Say he doesn't play well next year. I wouldn't even allow him to become a free agent. I might still transition tag him, even if I don't believe in him anymore. I might still transition tag him for like $35 million. He could be my bridge quarterback for 1 year. Now, if a team offers you a deal out there, long term, like a little 5-year, $150 million deal, which is $30 million a year because you didn't play well and your stock went down, I get 2 first-round picks regardless. If they offered you a smaller deal than that, I get 2 first-round picks. Nobody's going to do that, though. But I'll reward them. Thanks for your service. Here's $35 million to play 1 more year as a bridge quarterback while we're stacking up for some draft capital to go back in the draft. Or maybe I don't do that at all, and maybe I'm going to pursue Dak Prescott. Or maybe I don't do that at all. Maybe Kirk Cousins is available because Penix is playing well. Or maybe I don't do that at all because we want to take a shot with Justin Fields. Or maybe I don't do that at all, and there's opportunities that come about every year. Chris Greer is in a tough situation right now. Do I blindly guess and go all out for Tua Tyreek in this same regime that's been losing? And when I say losing, I'm talking about the big games, playoff games, the things that matter most. Like a lot of y'all do realize you're banking on, well, hopefully we can stay healthy and it'll be a different result. That's what some of y'all believe, but y'all don't know if that'll really be the case. You don't really know if that'll be the case. Because what's supposed to be different this year if we have to go play the Chiefs in negative 18 degrees in the first round again? What's supposed to be different? Chubb is supposed to be healthy, and that's going to make a big difference against Patrick Mahomes. There are better D lines and defenses in the NFL that still got smoked. What, the weather may not be negative 18, but maybe 12? What's supposed to be different this year? Well, we got Poyer. Is that what's supposed to be different? Fuller. What's supposed to be different? What's the difference maker this year? Because a lot of people are only saying health. Y'all really think that's why we lost in the first round, because we didn't have 2 pass rushers? Because at what point do we say, well, Connor was hurt too, but somebody's going to be hurt in January this year, y'all. You could go all up and down the roster. Somebody going to be hurt. And that's called a spade a spade. We got better depth this year, but in the playoffs, best against the best, is it really going to make that much of a difference? You just got to, somebody's going to be hurt in January. I hope y'all know that. We just hope it ain't Tua. We hope it ain't Ramsey. We hope it ain't Tyreek or Waddle. Dang, you're right, bro. I should have been dropped the link. We only got 10 minutes. Anybody want to come in for 10 minutes and chop it up? The link just been dropped. All right. Shout out to Kevin Lee, said, here you go, TD. Fan for life. I'll be at the Miami Jets game in Miami and Houston Miami game too. Hope to see you there. Here's to another 6 years and more. Let's go. Appreciate you, Kevin. Kevin, if you ain't got your tickets to the Miami Jets in Miami yet, check it out with Roundtable Sports so you can hang out with us on the terrace. All right. We booked a whole terrace. I mean, we got our own terrace that we allow like 70 people on. Okay. We're all going to be hanging out together. All right. So me, Richie, Jake Asman's gonna be there, Glenn gonna be there. A lot of people that watch are gonna be there. So if you don't have your tickets yet, come hang out with us. All right. Shout out to King Cat, just dropped the 50 bones on you, boy. He said, here's a 50 for the haters. Just wanted to stop through and send all love and blessings to you and your fam. I'm deployed right now doing my annual janitor maintenance duties. I'll be back real soon and on the channels. Salute to you, man. Hey, man, go do your thing, man. Go get, hey, do your janitor duties, whatever that is, man. If it's working for you, I'm all for it. All right. Man, that's what's up. Kevin Lee said, I agree. Hill deserves to get more money, but not sure how much Miami is willing to give him unless Hill is with Miami over 3 more years. But not sure if I see that. I give Hill 2 more years, probably 2026. Yeah. Let me bring up one last scenario, and then I'm going to bring everybody in. Have y'all ever considered maybe trading Tyreek Hill and getting a first-round pick or something right now? And maybe even putting Tua on the market to a Raiders or a Giants or a Panthers and getting 2 first-round picks or 3. Maybe if they feel his stock is that high right now. And maybe just starting fresh. You got your young Waddle and hire your young core. Have you ever thought about that? What if we could draft a quarterback this year that could CJ Stroud it? And we got all this money and draft capital to like, why can Houston do it, but we can't? Why? Just saying, man. 2 of these. What up?
That's me. What's up, TD?
I'm good, homie. What's going on?
Not much, man. Same old same, man. But I've been liking, man, what you've been doing lately, man. I've been listening to you, man, and I'm spot on with you, bro. 100%, bro.
That's
Now,
what's up, man.
a question I have for you, TD, man. Like, this contract thing, paying to it what Trevor Lawrence is getting, bro. Bro, if I remember, bro, like Trevor Lawrence has beaten playoff teams, man, and 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 look pretty good against these playoff teams, man. So I don't see any problem with them paying Trevor Lawrence money, man. This guy he does compete against playoff teams, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Trevor hasn't had the extensive injury history, I don't think. Also, he has showed up in some big games, so I can understand them wanting to move forward. I'm still a little hesitant in paying Trevor. If he was my quarterback, I may not have the same sentiment as Tua, but I would still feel a little cautious. Like I would say, hey, let him play the 4th year first. But I'm not mad they did it. I just wouldn't have. I would have made him play 1 more year to see if it went up or down. But yeah, but I get what you're saying. He's definitely done more than Tua as far as proving himself in the big moments.
And we're not even going to question golf and him playing and beating playoff teams, man.
That ain't no question. People need to stop that mess. Tua ain't no golf.
And the thing you just said, TD, hey man, go ahead and draft a quarterback. Leave McDaniel here, man, and hey man, I think we can run this system, man. Hey man, if McDaniel has the time to work with a young quarterback, I think we can make a move like that, bro. I'm on board with that.
Me too, but they don't want you to believe that anybody else can run McDaniel's system, not realizing that maybe the system wouldn't be exactly the same. Maybe he'll cater it to whoever he was to inherit, and maybe it'll be better because that person will have more in their tool belt. We don't know, but that's the argument out here. I want to get on to some of the other people backstage, but I appreciate you coming through, homie.
Okay, TD, appreciate you having me on, bro. Appreciate it.
All right, bro. I'll see you soon.
All right.
All right, David, talk to me, man.
What's up, TD, man? I've been a big fan of yours.
I appreciate that, man.
I've been watching your content for 3-4 years now.
Oh well, you done been here through the rough patches. What's going on?
The terrible patches. I think it's time to trade Tyreek Hill. I really do think it's too much off the field issues. Number one, it's too much of a headache, too much money. I think it's just let's just cut our losses and let's go. Trade him, go find draft capital, and Tua. If I'm Chris Greer, listen, take this deal or go in the market. I'm a translation attack you, and whatever you in the market will match it, or I'll let you go. And
Yeah,
I'll get my 2 first-round picks.
but you're being counterproductive though, bro. Because if you're gonna trade Tyreek, then why you wasting your time with a year 5 in a tag on Tua? You already know you ain't got what he need around him. If you're gonna do that, you can't have it both ways.
I agree. Okay, I see your point.
So what you gonna do? You gonna trade Tyreek or you gonna sign him?
The thing is, Tua's a Tyreek merchant.
Yeah, but one he need him. So what you gonna do?
I feel like you hit the red button. We start from scratch. You start from scratch. Rebuild, trade both, just trade Tyreek, trade Tua, restart the button, and all right, let's go.
Yeah,
but it didn't work. It didn't work.
I understand why you feel that way. A piece of me does too, but you gotta see this year out. We gotta give it its last chance.
What
if we win a Super Bowl this year? You never know. You gotta give it its last chance.
Bro, I love your channel, bro. Look, I debate with multiple people in my friend group, bro. That I have a friend that's a Tua fan. He's a Dolphins fan. He dies hard Tua, and I debate with him every time. Tua is not the guy. Every little time, bro. And I'm like, Tua's not the guy, man.
Cut him some slack, man. He just, love his
bro,
player, man.
He's older than me, bro. I'm young. I'm only 19, bro. I'm a young fan. So I stop. I understand your point from Tannehill. I start learning from Tannehill. The whole situation with Tannehill.
Yeah, and that's the big piece of it. Learn from the past, but a lot of people want to repeat it. But thanks for coming through, David, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Me, hey, man. Thank you for having me. Have a great night.
All right, same. That's what's up, man. We got Billin. What's going on?
TD.
What's going on, man?
Hey, man. Long time listener, long time follower. But you usually bring the best in the business, and it's obvious by everybody that's following.
I appreciate that, brother. Well, how you feel about what's going on with the team right now?
I mean, honestly, it's a lot about the way you feel too. To be honest with you, look, I don't know about the signings, but I do feel one thing. We had a lot of discrepancies in the past about my thoughts, your thoughts, everybody's thoughts about way things have been going, and about like our signings and this and that. The way things have been handled by Greer, Ross, McDaniels, yada yada. But to be honest with you, pretty sure we're in the right spot for where we're supposed to be. But the thing is, I feel like we're kind of at our
crossroad.
Yeah, this is it. It's all in or nothing. It's like you're gonna put all your chips in now. You're gonna wait till next year because it's all in now. It's the way to go, in my estimation. Because if you look around the league, look what we just did. Bang, 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 bang. Lose this top player. Well, then we get other top player. But then we had to cycle through different coaches, this and that and the other. We're like a team that hasn't really fully established like its full potential because of we're in positions all the different times where it's like Ross is trying to juggle it too. You got to imagine the big man's got to be trying to be like, okay, well then you're my advisor. What do I do? It's like the presidency. I'm not, and I don't want to get politics. So I'm just trying to say, like, if Ross is the president, which he is, of a company, he's saying like, this is what we're going to do next. This is what we shall do next. You're my advisor to do that. This is what we shall do. Yeah, bada bing, bada boom. Let's make it happen, right? So he puts these people in positions, and they're making their decisions. And what do they come up with? And that's our results. So I have to say, over the past several seasons, several now, we can actually add an S to that. Several seasons that we have actually been something of a logical threat, or even somebody. We have not. We are not at the bottom of the league. We are near the top of the league.
Yeah, the issue I have with that is, first of all, you're correct. We aren't at the bottom anymore. We're at least relevant now. But the problem is it's still been underachievement. We've been underachieving, and a lot of people aren't recognizing that because it's further than we've ever been. But this is the best roster that we've had since anyone can remember. We have underachieved.
I haven't seen this since the 90s.
But we let that supersede the fact that we've underachieved. People are like, oh, the furthest we've got. No, it's not as furthest we should have been getting.
But TD, check it. Now, with that being said, right, you just established exactly what I just estimated. Now, here's my difference. Is it like, I think we're better than the teams we had in the 90s. We are better than them.
Well, talent-wise, yes.
But with the one factor that remains is, and I'm gonna agree that I'm gonna agree, disagree. I'll agree and I'll disagree every which way, because I probably go every different direction. Because Tua, although I want Tua to be my dog, I just don't know if he's my dog. But I want him to be my dog. But will he be? We don't know. And I think it's the one thing that separates him from everybody else. And this, to be honest with you, it's because he had those losing seasons. We're not losing seasons, but the injury seasons. And that's because if you look at every single time he's healthy, he's a top dog. He is the number one quarterback in the league when he ain't injured. Hands down. I mean,
hands up. You know
what I'm saying? It's true story.
No, it's not. It's not no hands
it's
down.
True.
It's hands up. He is
show me when. Tell me when.
In the NFL. He is.
I want to make sure that people got more time on here with you without me on here. So you tell me.
I'm about to move on to the next person, Villain. So thanks for coming through, but I'm gonna address that. All right.
Fair enough.
He is not. Why do like so many people are convinced that he's a top dog in this NFL when he's not hurt? I mean, the man wasn't hurt the man wasn't hurt last year in the last 5 games of the season. The man wasn't hurt before he got the concussion versus Green Bay when he played the Chargers. When he played San Francisco, he wasn't hurt. Ladies and gentlemen, this is his behavior. He's not a top dog. I don't even know if he a dog. Dogs bite. Dogs bite. Dogs bite. Okay? When a top dog bites, when another dog walk up to a top dog, he gonna bite his head off or try to. I think we get so caught up in when the inferior dog walks up and he barks and that dog run away. That's your Giants when we play them. That's when we played Denver putting up 70. They're little puppies that all he did is had to bark and they ran. But when another dog walk up, he barks and they start growling and walking up, he's that tail go between his legs. Call it what it is. So the top dogs don't do that. Let's just be honest, man. Somebody said Samoan Poodle. Y'all need to stop. Q, man. What up, man? What up, Q?
TD, what's good? What's good?
I'm good.
Yes, Tua is a top dog. Tua is indeed a top dog.
Yeah, we know you think he is.
The worst. He is the baddest top dog. This is the worst top dog you'll never want to encounter because these are the quiet types. You know what they say? It's the quiet ones you gotta watch out for. You know the ones that be loud and barking on the top? Yeah, they ain't top dogs. They masquerading as top dogs.
The top chihuahua. Come on, man.
Hey, but listen, man, listen. I'm very disappointed in you, TD. Why are you misinforming these people, man? Why are you misleading these
What am
people,
I
bro?
informing
Come
them
on,
on?
man.
Educate me, man.
Listen. I'm sure you're aware of Real Talk Perez, who said some um high things about you. He said some really good things about you, and I agree to an extent. And he said you are fair and you cover all bases. You cover all possibilities. And boy, you are not fair, and you do not cover all possibilities. You stay on one side of the fence. Come on now,
What do you
I
mean
need you to
one
talk
side of the
about.
fence?
I need you to talk about what if no deals. If they don't get a deal done with Tua, how does that affect the offense going into the season without a quarterback? You're not talking about that. You're not talking about being a headless chicken out there with no quarterback. You can say what you want about Tua. He's a top 10, top 15, not a top 5. It's arguable. I'm cool
Hold
with
on,
that.
let me ask you a question.
But the fact,
Let me ask you a
go
question.
ahead.
Did our offense
Go ahead.
not go out there versus the Chiefs with like a chicken with their head cut off? When we played Baltimore, did our offense not go? So it don't matter how this team go out there and play. When at the end of the day, when the rubber meet the road and you got to go up against the other big dog, they even with Tua on the field, they it's a chicken with a head cut off.
See, now right there, that's misleading. You
No,
blaming
it's
Tua for that
not.
game.
No, I'm not blaming Tua, but the one position that cannot afford to contribute to the loss.
No, you still blaming Tua. You said you're not blaming Tua, and then you said, but the one.
No. I said
No.
he's not getting the sole blame. He's not getting the sole blame. The team in general, cool, Mike McDaniel, the whole team didn't show up. But at the end of the day, this is my point. This is my point. Despite all the mistakes from his teammates around him in the coaching, right? Tua still had the power to win that game on his own. When you look at how much he left on, or how much meat he left on the bone in that game, him alone, if he could have just played 30% better out of what he could control, we would have probably still won that game. That's all I'm saying. Right. But if I'm gonna say if Tyreek wouldn't have dropped that one pass, then we still might have lost, even if he would have caught it.
But let's not act like Tyreek
these little minute things.
Let's not act like Tyreek been a fact. He's been bumped. He's been bumped at the line of scrimmage by Snead the whole game. He's been what you call that?
But
he's been put out of the game.
But that happens. You know that happens. That happens to receivers. But that doesn't mean the play has to be over. But with Tua, it's over because hurry up, Tyreek, figure it out because I got to get it to you.
What I'm saying is you're being hypocritical. You say this about Tua, but you don't say this about Tyreek.
It's not about mistakes. It's bro, do I need to bring up this Chiefs? I ain't doing it tonight.
No, listen, bring accountability to all. You say everybody gets a blame, but you're blaming just Tua.
Listen to me. When Patrick Mahomes ain't got a receiver on the field and they out there dropping passes and messing up, but Patrick Mahomes plays an almost flawless game, that's why they still win. That's why they still win.
Yeah.
See, that's the point. That's why you make $55 million. That's why
Mahomes is the one anomaly.
Stop
and you can't say nothing about Lamar Jackson. You cannot tell me about no Burrow. No. This is going last year.
Yes, I can because these guys
over Tua.
Yes, they all are. Almost all of them are. I mean, Tua's like 12. Tua is 12 to 16 in the pecking order, and that has injured. What is you talking about?
He was injured last year, was he not?
But we know Burrow. Because we know we know he's a better quarterback.
That's the misleading and misinformation you're spreading to these people, bro. I'm telling you.
So you're gonna say that Tua is better than Burrow?
I don't have much time, TD. I don't have much time. Let's disagree.
Are you to tell the people? Don't tell the people right now. So are you saying Tua is a better quarterback than Joe Burrow?
Yes, definitely, yes. You go last year to the stats.
Thanks for coming through, Q. I gotta get to the next person, but thanks for coming through, Q. I appreciate you, bro.
All right, TD.
Oh man, y'all think Q playing? Q really believe that? Q really believe that? Y'all think he just coming up here playing? Q believes that, all right? And hey, that's his beliefs, all right? Man, Crypto Dolphin, what up, homie?
I'll do you one better. Tua is better than Dan Marino. Let's just get it over with. Let's just get it out the way. That's what we creeping ourselves up to. Why not just get it over with? Just go to Augusto. He's better than Dan Marino.
Now, Crypto is being facetious, and those who don't know what facetious mean, it means sarcastically funny. Okay, Crypto is, but Q believe it. Crypto being facetious. Q actually believe it. All right. But come on, Crypto, man. This is what we got to deal with, man.
Oh my God, this is crazy. You want to know what's crazy? I want people to learn this. I've been saying it for a while, TD. When it comes to Tyreek and his ability, Tyreek's gravity is what causes this offense to go. What I mean by that, he draws so much attention, just like a vacuum. It sucks so much attention from the opposing defensive coordinators and the way they scheme against our offense, that without that gravity effect, then the rest of everything doesn't fall in place. It's Tyreek's gravity that makes this offense works. Because he's getting defensive coordinators up at night. That's their first center of attention. You saw 2 years ago when the Chargers was playing against us and they had them on film saying what did they need to do. They basically said, take out Tyreek and that other guy, number 17. They was talking about Waddle. That was the dossier that they was trying to give heads up to other great defensive coordinators, or at least competent defensive coordinators. I say that this is how you scheme against an offense like this that has a Tyreek Hill that depends on timing and rhythm. So, and that's what they did. Punch the perimeter guys in the mouth, put them on the floor, throw off their timing by a few seconds, and the play's blown up. That's pretty much the gist of it. And make your linebackers go deep and play discipline with your front seven. And that's pretty much kind of what they're doing. Some defensive coordinators don't have that discipline to do that and just stick to it because they think one big play they give up is over. Remember, a lot of people can blame Tyreek for drop passes. Also, they don't realize that without that comeback pass in that Chiefs game, we get shut out. We don't even get 7 points. So that was him that made us score points in the beginning. So
Tyreek the one who scored the touchdown.
Yeah, that's what right, exactly. Yeah, so if he doesn't do his part and catch that ball, what happens if that one was a drop? Then we're shut out. They conveniently forget about that. If that's a drop, we're shut out.
It was the worst thrown ball you could have. Tyreek had to stop, come back and get it to where the defenders was like, "Oh, it's way short." Like, come on.
They forget about that his contribution on the side that causes us to even be in games, such as against the Chiefs, Bills, and all that. Hey, here's another quick one. A lot of people conveniently have that 5 touchdowns, 5 quarterbacks can run this offense propaganda that's out there. They conveniently leave out Green Bay quarterbacks, Jordan Love, and the one that used to be a quarterback for the Packers is Aaron Rodgers. He ran a similar style timing-based offense that was doing pretty good under Nathaniel Hackett. Basically, run a similar style system, a variation of the West Coast with some vertical concepts in there. When they had Devontae Adams and great receivers on the boundary, so they conveniently live out Aaron Rodgers because he had one down year prior to being trading, and his down year still constituted 25 touchdowns, which was tied with Tua that same year going into the postseason. They missed the postseason because I think they lost to Detroit. And here's another stat. We all can agree that Baltimore, Cincinnati, Buffalo, and KC are like the top dogs in the conference. He had a 93.3 passer rating with 3,887 yards, 28 touchdowns versus 12 interceptions in 16 games. That's his career in the last 16 games. That was Aaron Rodgers' numbers and his last numbers was even staggering against Buffalo, and not Buffalo because he was out in that game. The one before that when he was a Packer, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Okay, average. Against Baltimore, 3 touchdowns, no interception, a 132.2 quarterback rating. That was Aaron Rodgers' last game versus Baltimore. So
It's funny you say that because I never recognized that with Aaron Rodgers, how he operated a timing offense. Did you hear what Aaron Rodgers said? The quarterback he had to study because of their like anticipation and no look throws and timing. He literally said he had to study Ryan Tannehill, which is crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. He said Ryan Tannehill.
But Ryan Tannehill is an accurate quarterback in the short and intermediate, and he got better in the deep. The problem
it's not
is
until later
he takes.
It's not until later, but Aaron Rodgers got good. I'm not Aaron, but Tannehill got okay with the deep ball. His short and intermediate game was fine, and that helped him out in Tennessee once he got to Tennessee and got some weapons. Some conventional offense. They ran a one tight end, one good tight end, one good wide receiver, and a stellar running back, and a balanced O-line. But that's what they call a conventional offense.
Exactly. It's so funny though. You get the stellar running back, you get the stellar wide receiver, and numbers go up. But we got 2 of both.
Yes, 2 running backs, 2 great receivers. Exactly. Yeah. Was it though? Those teams tend to have one big standout at each of those rooms, the wide receiver or running back room. Tannehill had that 117 QB rating, and they say, "Oh, he had a great offensive line. He had okay, great offensive line. That means you handing the ball to the running back with Derrick Henry. Okay, Tannehill's statistics are not affected by Derrick Henry's running because the ball's out of Tannehill's hand. His quarterback rating doesn't go up because Derrick Henry gets 2,000 yards.
Exactly. It's all about passing the ball.
His passing rate goes up when he throws the ball, not when he hands off the football. Because let's say, for instance, didn't Zach Wilson have a good running backfield, a backfield that was pretty decent in combo? His quarterback rating wasn't 117 when he had a good backfield. So this notion that just because you have a good running back, your quarterback rating have to be high. Rodney Peete never had great stellar quarterback ratings. He had the best running back in football with Barry Sanders. Jim McMahon, he had Walter Payton in his backfield. He never freaking had great quarterback ratings throughout his career. So this notion that just because you got a great running back behind you, you're going to have a great QB rating. That's a myth. That's not guaranteed.
Well, you know what? Time always tells crypto. I'm gonna get to the next caller, bro. But thanks for coming through, man.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Appreciate you, homie. My bad. Color, what up, man? Miller, I got you next. What up, Color? Hey, and Pete said the market is the market. Well, the code is the code. I just tweeted that.
TD, man, how you been?
I'm good. I ain't heard from you. I listened to you on the tailgate, but I ain't seen you in a bit over here, man.
Yeah, we haven't talked in forever, man. Life has hit me the last season, and I figured so much of this season was going to be off season was going to be so redundant that I figured, if anybody wants to know how I feel about the situation, they could just put they could just go watch the last 2 seasons of work I put in because it ain't nothing changed.
Yeah. Same old, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it all the same color?
Yeah. I think there's so much that, I agree on. There's a couple points I wanted to touch on, but I figured, I got to come up here and find some way to disagree with you. Otherwise it wouldn't be fun. Right. I mean,
talk to me, baby. Let's go.
Well, I know that, you kind of, you're quasi working with a little bit more temperature on the team than the rest of us these days. Congratulations, by the way. You've been doing awesome work, man. And that's all because of you, bro.
We all out here grinding.
That's all because of your effort, bro. And it's, you know what I mean? So, don't be afraid to wear that like a badge, man. You're doing excellent work. But that being said, I don't want to, I don't have the obligation to, I shouldn't say you're obliged or anything, but as a person who absolutely has no finger on the inside whatsoever, I'm just going to stand on the toes I've been standing on for the last 3 seasons. We've seen this song and dance before. We've never seen a quarterback that somebody is sure about go through this process.
Mm-hmm.
We've never had to have somebody convince anybody of anything when you know that's the guy.
Facts.
And look, here's where I'll disagree with you. You're of the type, and I've heard you kind of take a stand that some kind of contract's gonna get done. Like it's one of these platitudes that are around the fan base. Oh yeah, let's grab our rosary beads and our crucifix and stick our head in the dirt, and yeah, a contract's gonna get done.
Mm-hmm.
But to be
I
honest
do
with
believe
you,
that. I do believe that.
But to be honest with you, I can show just as much evidence and patterns to suggest that we've never been in onto it, and we're still yet to be convinced. Now, my thought is that yeah, Chris Greer likes Tua as a person and wants to placate the sycophants out there. You know what I mean?
Well, let me say this.
Cowherd pointed this out great, that you can like a guy, but that doesn't mean you like his services.
Exactly. Let me say this though, Color. I don't think we actually disagree. Let me be very descriptive of what I mean by a deal is going to get done. I don't think a deal should get done, and I don't think a deal will get done. But I believe a deal's going to get done.
Right.
Because it's the Miami Dolphins, and when have we gotten it right, Color?
Right, and we also have to differentiate.
That's why I believe it's getting done, because we're about to make another bad decision, and I have no evidence to suggest we're not going to make a bad decision.
And that's where we have to differentiate, because I do think there is a contract that could be done that is fair for both sides. I don't think Tua has earned 0 over the 23.7 we have to pay him this year. But it's really kind of like, what is it all for if you just know? Like, look, what I think we're seeing here is we're seeing the reality of executives like Chris Greer and billionaire owners like Stephen Ross. We're watching their thoughts and their lived experience and reality catch up with the Twitterverse reality, which is hyperbolic. And yeah, Tua's like Crypto just said, better than Dan Marino and all this and that. And I'm not so sure that Chris Greer and everybody feels the same way. They project that, because what else are they going to do? You know what I mean? They're not going to go out there and say, oh yeah, we're, whatever. But there's obviously no evidence of any of this whatsoever. So, but what we do know is what we see. If everybody was 100% sure, the contract would have likely already been signed.
No question.
And
now they want to act like the only reason it's not being signed is because Chris Greer dropped the ball by not doing it last year, and now it's harder to do because it's really gonna cost us so much now. No.
And to your point from last year, what were we supposed to do? I maintain that exercising the 5th-year option was precisely to set to his value at that moment in time, because we were just not sure. He had just missed the last 5 games of the season. You know what I mean? We don't know how much is inflated, and this gets to your show topic, Tyreek Hill problem. Extend or ignore. Look, I did a whole show on it. I've crunched the numbers. I'm currently crunching the numbers for this season, because this question has still not been resolved in a debate that was started last year, which is the reason I did the work that I did, to find out just who helps who. And just to reference last year's work, I can tell you that Tua in 13 games, while being tied for 9th with Kirk Cousins in production, based on my methodology, obviously, which, this ain't the time or place to explain all of it. Suffice it to say, when I did the wide receivers, he had 2 receivers in the top 10, Tyreek Hill at 2 and Jalen Waddle at 10th.
Running back too.
Okay, now you look over to a guy like everybody's favorite comparison, Justin Herbert. I won't even get into Patrick Mahomes, because he's obviously a GOAT, and his best receiver was Juju Smith-Schuster at 20 something. Didn't even come in under 20 in production. Okay. Now, Justin Herbert in 2022, he ended up being, I believe it was I want to say second. He was in top 5 on my production list, right? Yet his best receiver was Keenan Allen at 21st, Mike Williams at 27th, and Josh Palmer at 35th. So how was he able to get his production, which was, obviously Tua missed 5 games, so you project that out, Tua would have probably landed, let's say 7th, 6th, or 7th, still lower than, less productive than Justin Herbert, and Justin Herbert's best production receiver was Keenan Allen, who didn't even crack the top 20 in production. So, we're going to see that play out again in this year's rankings. Everybody's going to be able to see and make the determination again. I got somebody, that's kind of fashions himself as in the industry, booked for the quarterback show. But bro, this is a long discussion that you don't have a lot of time for tonight, that I'm sure you'd love to have. So you're always invited.
Well, I'm gonna be doing a lot more night streams, Color. So
I'd
having
love
panels.
when I put out the wide receiver numbers without even getting to the quarterbacks, because I'm going to do that show second, right? Just for dramatic purposes. But as soon as you see which wide receivers did what last year, you're going to plain as day see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's clear. Well, you let me know when you do it so I can make sure I send people over to it, because a lot of people need to understand this, what you're explaining right now. And then when you go into more detail, they'll understand exactly what you mean. But a lot of people are going to ignore it anyway, Color, at the end of the day.
Of course. Well, they do. But this was precise. This is the second annual. So we're going to also be able to see, since I'm not changing my methodology, we're going to also be able to see the change from last year to this year with a full 17-game season under Tua's belt. That's going to see what it likely would have been last year. But this point about his numbers this year, I mean, look, man, people can say what they want, but I'm not gonna write home about 4,600 yards in a down NFL year when, Derek Carr put up those numbers coming in at 5th in the year that Justin Herbert threw for 5,000. So I'm not going to play those games. But one other point I wanted to get, because I know you're crunched for time, this whole idea about the West Coast offense. I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face, TD. Pro Football Reference has us listed as a West Coast. It doesn't say Mike McDaniel variant. It doesn't say all this. We are a West Coast offense. We were under Flores an Earhart-Perkins system, which was developed by New England in the 70s. Okay, it's sort of like an inverted West Coast. It's very similar. Language is different. Spots on the field are different. But both systems are designed to do the same thing. Make it as easy as possible for the quarterback to deliver the football.
Exactly.
In an East-West system. Okay, that's what it is. That's what we're listed as. That's what 80% of the teams are in this league, including the Kansas City Chiefs, the Chicago Bears, the New York Jets. I could go on and on and on and on and on. Okay, everybody's using it. It's precisely for that purpose of being able to have, if you're able to build a team, if your quarterback is not necessarily the guy, it allows you to build a super team, hopefully win that way, and drop that quarterback in that becomes a star, like Patrick Mahomes, like Brock Purdy. Well, I don't know about Brock Purdy yet, but you know what I mean. Okay. Same system. It was designed by Sam Weiss, Bill Walsh back in the 70s. It's nothing new. It's the same thing. Every coach adds their little variant based on their quarterback's attributes, and those variants change with the wind and with the quarterback. And yes, Tennessee also runs a West Coast with Ryan Tannehill for the last 5 years. People can go look up this information, TD.
Yeah, they're gonna make these narratives be more favorable for Tua. Like there's only 5 quarterbacks that can run it. But I got to get to Miller. Color.
Right,
I appreciate you coming
love
through,
you to
bro.
death, TD. Say
Same,
hi
brother.
to the fam for me. Say hi to the wife for me. Love you
Will
all,
do.
and keep doing a great job, buddy.
Thanks for coming through, bro.
Yep.
All right. Last but not least, what up, Miller? What's going on, man?
How's it going?
I'm good. Talk to me.
So my main questions and what's really kind of underneath the surface of this whole offseason is Jalen Waddle being signed top 5. Because this whole Tyreek situation happened because we didn't have faith in him. People all of a sudden lost faith in Jalen Waddle because he started catching with his body, not with his hands. And now all of a sudden he's top 5 wide receiver money. And all of a sudden we see Kansas City now in another reload with what we have given them over the whole entire system that we did, that whole trade for Tyreek. They reloaded and are now primed for an actual 3-peat, which is crazy.
People don't realize Kansas City got Xavier Worthy in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
They got Hollywood Brown, so that's 2 speedsters. And don't forget, Xavier Worthy ran a 4.21. He's one of the fastest guys in the league.
Didn't they get McDuffie too with our pick?
Yeah, but I'm looking at the primary, like the main guys is at least who I think going to be on the field. Worthy, Hollywood Brown on the outside. You got Travis Kelce in the middle, Rasheed or Rice possibly coming across the middle in the slot. Bro, like it's like the perfect blend of receivers. 2 speed guys, a big Rice in the slot, and Travis Kelce. Who the heck are you gonna guard?
I don't know.
Talk about Tyreek and Waddle, but when you look at it, I'm gonna be honest with you. That collective group, I would take over Miami's group any day. I would take a Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, Travis Kelce, and Rasheed Rice over Miami's group any day because it has the perfect balance. It has the perfect balance. We just got Tyreek Waddle. That's what we have as far as those, like the receiving positions. Man, I think, and then you just on top of you just add Mahomes.
The all-star defense they have. And then you also, I heard someone say Tua's better than Joe Burrow.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about that.
Jalen Hurts is better than Joe Burrow. And Jalen Hurts ain't even on Tua's level. Like, Tua ain't on Jalen Hurts' level.
You said Jalen Hurts is better than Burrow?
Yeah.
Man, what's in the water?
Super Bowl.
Man, what's in the water, man?
He went to the Super Bowl.
Joe Burrow did too.
Uh-huh. All-star wide receivers.
Oh, man, y'all stop, man. Y'all gotta stop this mess, man. Y'all gotta stop this mess, man.
One's a number 1 overall pick. One's a 3rd-round pick.
Oh,
that got replaced.
It don't matter, man. Y'all gotta stop this mess, man. Jalen Hurts is good, but he ain't Joe Burrow.
The Eagles, man.
Nah, the Eagles all right, but there ain't no Joe. He ain't better than Joe Burrow.
I mean, best ability is availability.
Man, you Q brother.
Huh?
You must be Q brother, man. Y'all y'all, man. I don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for letting me stop.
Thanks for coming through, bro. Hope to see you again. All right.
Take it easy.
Same, bro. Listen, y'all. That's everybody who came backstage tonight. I want to thank y'all for coming through. Appreciate y'all. Fans up no matter what. We're about to end the stream, about to go hang out with the wifey. Listen, man. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Hit that like button on your way out. Let your friends and family members know about the channel. Thank you to everybody showing love, especially in the Cash App. I appreciate you guys. And those who donated to the channel, those who hit the like button, those who subscribe, those who just show love and support on a regular basis. It's always greatly appreciated. I'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Like I said, I'm trying to stream every single day. Tomorrow we got the I think we got the round table. I don't know. I'm bringing 4th of July in. I think we have the round table tomorrow. So, but I'm still gonna get one in, even if it's earlier. So we'll chop it up tomorrow. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'm out of here, man. Got to give me some rest. Peace. Y'all be blessed. See you soon.